right, guys, Ask a Felon back with another one for you. Remember, hit that like, comment, subscribe. If everybody who watches this hits that subscribe button, I can reach my goal and I can get into more detail about my crimes and day the fugitive task force caught me, all the way up to how the judge gave me chance after chance until I forced his hand to send me to prison. But with that being said, let's get into it. Lessons learned behind bars. Lessons I learned behind bars was mainly, like I said, I learned patience and to control my temper. Because in there, everybody says, oh, you're in prison. You might as well do whatever anyway. No, that's only if you're in prison, in my opinion. That's only if you're in prison for 20, 30 years, even 10 years, maybe. Maybe then you get in there and do whatever. But the way I look at it is every time you mess up in prison, that's a chance, that's 6 month time cut that gets taken away. Or that's a write up to where when you do go to file modification, the judge sees, oh, you was in prison, you had 20 write ups in the last 3 years. And then he's going to think, you ain't tried to do no good. You was in there messing around. Even though lessons I learned behind bars is no matter how much you stay in your own lane, you can always end up in some situations with people, like just from having a bunkie who does something. Like I'll get like I gave an example in one of my other posts where I had a bunkie. He was cool as shit. I thought he was all right. He went and ran up a bunch of debt while he was my bunkie, and then I woke up to a letter. That's the second time in prison I woke up to my bunkies checking in, and then I get left with all the chaos that they created because people think I'm in on it. But like I said, lessons learned in there is you can be staying as much as you stay to yourself. It don't matter. Somebody's either going to try to test you, or you can have a bunkie who's created a bunch of problems, and it reflects on your room. Because in prison, people treat their cell, or whatever you want to call it, cell, house, room. People treat that like their home. I mean, if you think about it, if you're going to be down for 10, 20 years, that is your home. I mean, so you better respect people's home regardless. But the lessons I learned is no matter how much you stay out of the way, somebody either, like I said, your bunkies running up debts, and then the people want to collect. So who are they going to? Well, you was doing it with them. Like them was the words I was told to me. Even though I never seen these people, never talked to these people, never made no exchanges with these people, my bunkie was getting smoke and he was smoking it with me, which, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm in prison. What else? You know what I mean? I'm going to be able to smoke and I'm going to get away with it. Why not? But I ain't paying no money. I ain't running up no debt either. So my bunkie was doing it. He never talked to me about this before. He never said, I'm going to run up this debt and I'm going to go check in. None of that. He made me think he was all good. He's a stand up type dude. Some of the biggest mouth, loudest, meanest looking motherfuckers in prison are some of the softest people you'll ever meet. I'll tell you that now. I've seen some of the softest people in there be meaner than the people you would think is mean. A lot of times, all them tattoos on their face and, you know, running around thinking, being loud, running their mouth to everybody. Them's usually the ones who, when their time comes, you find out they're real, real soft. But like I said, the dude ran up a bunch of debt, checked in. I woke up from one day, he went to breakfast. There was a note sitting there, said, sorry to do this to you, man, but it ain't worth my time cut. I had to check in, blah, blah, blah. So, that was payday. That was commissary day. So commissary day comes and then people come running in there ready for their shit. That's what people do. When you owe debt in prison, motherfuckers are on you like that. They're ready to collect it. So they come down there and they're like, where's your bunkie? I'm like, shit, he checked in. They're like, oh, well, you was smoking with him. He owes us some money. That's crazy. He owes us some money. Where's his tote at? I'm like, the guards already came and got his tote. They're like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. You smoked it, though. I'm like, yeah, I did. But did I come to you and ask for it? Did you exchange anything with me? That was all on him. But luckily, I was in another dorm with another guy. In the first dorm I was in, who knew I was all right. He came up and he was affiliated. So he came up and he told him, he's like, nah, man, he's cool. He's a man of his word. He's solid. He's like, if he didn't have nothing to do with it, if he says he didn't have nothing to do with it, then he didn't have nothing to do with it. So that saved me right there just from knowing somebody from another dorm. who knew that I was stand up. You know, if I borrowed something, I paid it back. But I always tried I avoided ever owing money. You don't ever want to owe money, especially when you're counting on somebody on the outside to pay that money, because you never know if the people on the outside is going to come through for you. And then you're in this prison world. It's two different worlds. There's the prison world, and then there's the outside world. There's different rules in each world. So, yeah, you better not count on people on the outside, because you never know. Somebody could even, it could be an innocent thing. Your people on the outside who puts money on your books faithfully could just have a car accident one day, and they're not able to put it on your books that month. They could lose their job. They're not able to put money on your books that month. So you never want to count on people on the outside. So that was another one of the lessons I learned. Never get your hopes up and never count on somebody on the outside. Whether it comes to simple things like, I'll get a letter. The whole time I was locked down in prison, I received one letter from my brother, somebody who I thought would send me more letters. So between staying in your own lane and still ending up in some kind of problem, to don't ever count on people on the outside to put money on your books, because you never know what will happen. And that respect is earned in there. Like, you really do got to earn people's respect. How I earn people's respect, I stayed to myself, and I had one incident with somebody in one dorm, and then that incident, me standing my ground and telling that dude, you ain't doing shit, motherfucker, I'm letting you do it. That right there, I had some of the white affiliates, because it was a black dude. He was from my hometown. He was mad because I wouldn't hand him out shit, because we was hometowns. Like I told him, I don't know you on the streets. I don't care to know you in here, motherfucker. Fuck you. It is what it is. But yeah, so respect is earned in there. If you're running around looking scared, the prison mates can tell that you're scared. If you're in there looking scared, it shows like a deer in headlights. Believe me. If you can carry yourself the right way, then motherfuckers see that too. You ain't in there being an ass kisser and a yes man and all that shit. Motherfuckers know, well, he's real. He's a real dude. He's straight up. He's solid. So the lessons learned behind bars is, no matter how much you stay out of the way, you can always still end up in some situation. Never trust your bunkies. Never count on people on the outside. And respect is earned, not just given. Like, that's the truest statement I can say. You have to earn respect in there, because if not, you're going to be a target. Like, you have to stand your ground in there, or you'll become a target. But like I said, I had a situation where I didn't stand my ground, but I was on my way home. I was just waiting to go back, waiting to be transported back to my home county. So I wasn't doing shit to rest up on that. And at the time, there wasn't nothing I could really do anyway. I don't care how tough you think you are, how big and bad you are. When you're outnumbered, and that's all there is to it. You can't whoop a whole gang, plain and simple. You can't whoop a gang of 4 or 5 guys. You can't whoop 3 guys, unless you're just one bad motherfucker. You're some type of ninja. But yeah, and learn patience, because in prison, everything works on the guards' times. It works on the prison's times. It don't work on your time. That right there, I had to learn real quick. There is no getting around anything. There is no sneaky way to get through it. No way to manipulate. It is what it is. You're in there, and that's that. But as far as lessons learned behind bars, that's the only ones I can really think of. If I had advice for anybody that thinks they're going to prison, say you got a court date and you're about to go to prison, or you're on the run like I was. I was on the run for 5 years. But my advice is, if you know you're going, get some money saved up beforehand, to where you can either hire an attorney, hopefully, and get your shit taken care of. Or if you know that is no ifs, ands, buts about it, you're going to go to prison regardless. Get you some money saved up so you can have money on your books. It'll make your time go so much easier, because you can get hot pots, which is where you make your coffee in. And you can take that hot pot apart and turn that into a grill. And then you can make money by selling grilled cheeses. You can make it by making burritos and frying them up, So money on your books can help in a lot of ways. You can run a store, charge 2 for 1. So if you start out with $50, you got $50 to go in there, buy $50 of commissary, and then you start selling it 2 for 1. Yeah, I'll loan you 2 soups today, and you pay me back commissary, but you got to pay me back 4. That can keep you enough money in there to where you can live comfortably while you're in there, off of that first set of $50. You just keep rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Other thing I'd say if I had advice is don't run up debt. And I don't care how solid your people are on the outside, do not run up debt counting on them. Just flat out. Like, because another thing I learned about prison is some of the people you thought would be there for you in prison, like when you're the people on the outside you thought would always be there for you. Now I'm in prison, they're really gonna be. I got the hiccups. Now I'm in prison, they're really gonna be there. They're gonna send me letters. They're gonna put money on my phone. They're gonna do this. You find out real quick. It's the ones you least expect that are the ones there for you when you go to prison. Uh, that's really about all I got for that questions. I'm looking over the list here, trying to see if there's anything else. But for right now, that's all I got on them. Like I said, if you guys would hit that like, comment, subscribe. If just everybody who watches this would subscribe to my channel, then I could start reaching my goal and I could start getting into more detail about my crimes, about how the court process works, give advice to anybody out there on motions, on what to do if you are in a situation like that. Because I was ignorant to the law before I went to prison. Like I was so scared, and I thought cops and detectives and everybody that they was the top. You can't tell them no. You can't refuse to talk to them. You can't. There's a lot of tips and tricks that I can tell people because I learned how to file motions in there. I learned the loopholes. I learned to figure out what you can and can't get by with in the court system, how the court system process works. That if you know certain things, the judge can't do nothing about it because it's law. So if you know the right tricks to it, then it can help you in a lot of situations. But I can't get into that until I got more subscribers. I'm not doing very good on subscribers right now. I'm getting tens of thousands of views and I'm getting lots of questions, but I'm not getting them subscribers to match them views, guys. Come on, help me out, guys. I'm trying to get some traction here on this channel. Not only do I talk about prison, I talk about addiction and recovery. I also talk about tips and tricks for when you get out, how to stay sober, how to get you a job and turn your life around. It's a path from addiction that led to prison, and then prison that led to recovery. So come on, guys, hit that like, comment, subscribe, please. With that being said, till the next one, see ya.